Fruit! Fake! Fake! Fake grapefruits! Fake! Liar! You liar!
The more I see that, the more it makes perfect sense to the world we live in. Everything is BS. Everything is a lie. Everything is to trick you and me into believing everything is fine with, well, government, their decisions, their recommendations, even their demands. Boy, if we aren't in SHTF, I don't know where we are. I hope you are prepared fully. And folks, that's what we do. We talk about why you need to be prepared as well as being prepared, which means having food. 3 months of food, minimum. Water, the ability to obtain water, purify it, shelter, a good place to stay, live, whether it's a bug out location or a bunker in location, right? Food, water, shelter, clothing, being able to dress properly. Down here in Florida, I don't have a whole lot to worry about with clothing, but if you live up north, you live in a desert, yeah, it's pretty important. Of course, medication, that's a big one. The world now, unfortunately, it's about medications. Just ask Big Pharmacy, but don't take the Jim Jones juice. Definitely not. Medicine, first aid, though. Primarily first aid, antibiotics, a good thing to have if things go a little wonky, a little haywire, a little Mad Max on you. And of course, self-defense. Please get prepared. Now let's get into the show. The other part of the Prepared Mind channel is the Prepared Mind. If you don't know what's happening, you can't be prepared up here. If you don't know who is doing what and how it can affect you, you don't have what you need to be prepared up here. So that's why we spend time here. I tell you what, I've got the food. I've got the shelter, obviously. I've got the right clothing, flip-flops, and camouflage. And I have all the medications I need. And I have lots of self-defense. Me and all the other retired veterans and up here in what I call Northern Florida. They have funny ideas about what's northern and what's central, and I don't know. Anyways, here we are. I hope you are fine as well. And let's get into it. Folks, Tom Homan, who is going to be the border czar. Why don't we just call him the border boss? It's really all a czar is the boss. Anyways, he basically put the Denver Mayor Johnson, I call him Little Johnson. He basically put him on notice. And he said this, here's his quote. "We agree on one thing. He's willing to go to jail, and I'm willing to put him in jail." Folks, the Border and Illegal Immigrant SHTF event is coming. I hope you are ready. My top advice, have plenty of popcorn. Have plenty of popcorn. Have plenty of beverages. Make sure your seat is comfy, because when this kicks off, I think it's going to be rather entertaining and also scary as fuck if it's happening in your area. I don't know where they're going to go first, whether it's going to be a, forgive the expression, a blitz on blue cities that claim sanctuary status like Denver and states like California and Illinois. That's right, Illinois Governor Prickster. Really, Prickster. That's. I'm pretty sure that's how you spell and say his name. Uman's home state at the moment. Illinois is saying, every illegals, come this way, come this way. I mean, really, who does this guy think he is? What an idiot. What an ultra-maroon. What an in-cow poop. Anyways, I mean, here's what Tom Homan says, right? He's the border boss. He's coming. And he has told sanctuary cities, you are on notice. Tom Homan is requesting, getting ready to tell the Department of Justice to charge officials with both obstruction and harboring of fugitives, illegal immigrants. Now, when he says charge officials, he's talking about Mayor Little Johnson in Denver and Governor Fat Ass Prickster in Illinois and the Joker in California, Grovel Newscum. It's going to get interesting, folks. Bam. Now, if you were an illegal alien, who would you believe and who would you trust? I want you and me to think about this because I think there are some actual implications for us. If you live in one of these areas that has a large, shall we say, contingent of foreign nationals who don't want to go back to where they came from. And I think the most dangerous are the Venezuelans for the sole reason that many of them were told by their government, we're letting you out of jail. You will leave Venezuela and you will never come back. Go to America and don't come back or we will kill you. As I said, I think it's probably going to take one phone call from President Trump to Maduro, maybe even a Skype or a Zoom. Maybe he'll FaceTime and say, look, this is how this works. We're sending you back your criminals. You will take them and you will put them back in your jails and you figure out what to do with them. You will not slaughter them on the border and blame us. And also, you're going to pay us whatever the amount is, dollars, because of all the trouble they've caused here, because you let them out. That needs to happen, folks. This whole border business is going to bust some stitches. I plan on laughing and busting some stitches. Other people are going to get busted in the jaw and bust their ass. It's coming. It really is. Trump today told Canada and Mexico, you keep letting drugs in through your borders into our country, you're going to get a 25% tariff on all your goods. I believe 75% of what Mexico manufactures comes to this country. I believe it's more like 2/3. It's over a half, but closer to 2/3 of Canada's exports all come to our country. So they're going to take it and take it real bad. On the uranium side, energy, I believe Trump is going to apply a tariff there as well. And what that's going to do is drive the American energy market, not on oil, not on gas, but on uranium, because there is a huge nuclear energy push. In other words, Trump wants to have an energy independent United States of America. This is incredible, folks. The man hasn't even taken office, and he is causing all types of crying, all types of tears. And he has now gotten Mitch McConnell to declare basically war against him. He says, you're not going to get any recess appointments. I don't know why Mitch McConnell even has an opinion. I don't know why he's allowed an opinion. I don't know why he's allowed a seat in the Senate. Who the fuck does this guy think he is? Or any of these people in the Senate, for that matter. They don't have a mandate. Trump does, because you and I spoke. Expect trouble, folks. That's why we're prepared. There's going to be trouble. As RoboCop said, come quiet or there will be trouble. Anyways, this is the Tuesday Tantrum. And as you can tell, I've really been throwing a tantrum here. I'm just watching, folks. I'm keeping it calm. Or am I? Tell you what, get your comments, questions, thoughts down below. We're going to have an exciting show here, folks. An exciting show. I'm going to turn up the volume, turn up the energy, and let's get it on. Walmart has another price rollback. No, wait. Walmart is rolling back their woke diversity, equity, and inclusion policies. That's right, folks. BlackRock and Vanguard, the largest investment firms on the planet, were blackmailing, extorting, threatening, as far as I'm concerned, those three things, businesses everywhere, corporations saying, we won't invest in you with our huge, massive, enormous, trillions of dollars hedge fund unless you do diversity, equity, inclusion and start hiring fruitcakes and trannies and child molesters and putting them in positions of power, which are just trashing the profitability of these companies. I mean, look what Jaguar did. They're now Fagwire. They're Dragwire. They've turned them into a fruitcake laughingstock. I happen to know we'll just call him the general manager of the closest Jaguar dealership to me. Happen to know him, and word was passed to me that they didn't tell him this was coming. He's got a huge fucking dealership, and nobody told him it's coming. They're pissed. All the way down to the fucking mechanics. Literally, folks. The mechanics are pissed. They're like, and the mechanics are just like me and you. They're regular people getting regular wages. They're like, that's not who buys Jaguars. Anyways, Walmart, done. No more DEI. Toyota announced today they're no longer going to sponsor LGBTQ plus perverted events. And it's like, no shit, you dumbasses. Those are child groomers. Those are child molesters. Those are people with a serious mental disorder or 2 or 3. Right? You don't sponsor events that celebrate mental illness. And well, I'll tell you what, right? Not only are there they child groomers, but along with the teachers and politicians who are into pizza and hot dogs. Folks, there needs to be more. It is coming. The fight is being taken to the left. The fight is being taken to the Illuminati in Washington, D.C., and it needs to happen. It needs to have a big ass fight. And don't forget that the mainstream media is also your enemy. The mainstream media is the enemy of our liberties. The mainstream media is propaganda and lies 24/7. The only time they tell a truth or release a fact is because they need you to go, oh, maybe I'll listen to you, because they want to sell you more lies, right? They give you one spoonful of the good stuff, and then they give you a wheelbarrow load of shit and go, no, that's where we got the spoon from. No, sorry. Now, the fight is going on. Remember Scott Pressler, the long-haired, tall, he's kind of goofy dude who went around and registered hundreds of thousands of Pennsylvanians as conservatives, right? He is the voter registering master of all time in my book. And he's going after Jersey next, folks. So a CNN so-called reporter decided she was going to try smear him as violent. They wanted to do a hit piece on him, which is basically a hit piece on you and me. And she made a shitty quip about January 6th, which won't happen again because, hey, Trump won. There's no reason for Republicans to get violent on January 6th, even though Democrats are now organizing for a January 6th disruptive event for Inauguration Day. Anyways, she implied that Pressler might be part of the violence that's coming. And so he had a nice response. He says, with all due respect, I don't think she or any mainstream media deserves any fucking respect. But he said, with all due respect, it's to avoid people like you guys, CNN, saying that I'm anything but, meaning peaceful. He says, my motto is have my data and facts and treat everyone with love and respect. And as you can see, an army of people will follow. And I thought that was just brilliant. Fuck you, CNN, Fox, MSNBC, and all the rest. You glorify leftist violence, dismiss it as mostly peaceful, and then paint me and you guys as the threat. So fuck all the mainstream media. Understand, they are the enemy. They're not neutral. They're not just going anywhere. They're the enemy, and they're getting paid to be the enemy. Crazy business, folks. Crazy business in our country. Get your comments and questions down below on this Tuesday Tantrum. Understand the left. They are violent, folks. They are violent. A letter was sent from the would-be assassin, Ryan Ruth, or Root, or whatever the hell his name was. He was the one hiding in the bushes. They were the one hiding in the bushes. For over a day? It's unbelievable. He's hiding in the bushes, getting ready to shoot Trump as he's playing golf. Guess what? He sent a letter outlining his motivations. You know what his plan was? He was going to save America from Trump the dictator. He was going to save democracy. He was going to do it by starting a civil war. That was his plan. That really, to me, sounds like the left and their mentality. Sounds to me like the left and what they want to act on, what they're willing to act on, and what they've tried to act on. That's incredible. Expect a lot more of this. He's just one of the early ones. He was one of the early ones. It's on, folks, right? Trump is now president. See, the one fella who is up on the building in Butler County, Pennsylvania, that shot Trump through his ear, that guy who allegedly shot Trump through the ear, I still think he was just a patsy and there was a second shooter. But hey, I'm one of those crazy conspiracy theorists. Remember that. I'm just a crazy conspiracy theorist with one hell of a fucking track record. Just like you guys. You're like, you know, I'm not buying that shit. This is what I think happened. And bam, we're like, score. Knew it, nailed it. Have faith in yourself and what you believe, not me. Believe in what you believe. Think for yourselves, folks. Get information everywhere, process it, figure it out. I think we've all figured it out, right? They tried assassinating Trump twice before the election. Now that he's going to be in power, now that he's already making big changes, the Trump effect is out. The Democrats are losing it. The politicians are scared to death. The criminals are fleeing the fucking country. They're fleeing the country. We got P. Diddy in jail. He's wanting to basically drag everyone through the mud with him. Good. Hillary was told that if she gets arrested, she's going to bring down, I think, was it half or 3/4 of Washington, D.C.? I agree to those terms. I'm good with that. I'm good with that. Drag them all in and watch them start shitting on each other. I'm ready for it. I got lots of popcorn in the Prepared Mind bunker. That is for sure. But that's what they want. They want to start a civil war. Now that Trump's coming, they all believe they're going to lose all of their rights. Trump's going to arrest them. He's going to lock them in prisons. He's going to split up interracial marriages, and he's going to put gays in prison, and he's going to make women, he's going to force them to have abortions. No. He's going to force them to have babies. Even worse. Oh, my God. Creating a unique and special life. But I got to tell you, I want these Democrats to shave their heads so we can identify them. I want these Democrat ladies to tie their tubes, and Democrat men to make sure that their low T is so low that they have none, right? Get those vasectomies. Stop reproducing. Cut everyone off from sex. I think that's brilliant. Brilliant. And brilliant. Okay, I hope you're getting your questions, comments down below. And we've got more to discuss. The Trump effect. I just mentioned it a second ago. The tantrum that is being thrown by Democrats everywhere. In the Senate, the effete Senate. I'm telling you, we need to get someone into Marco Rubio's seat that is experienced enough, has gravitas, right? Can speak to them at their level and pound them into the ground like a railroad spike. I really believe that could be Matt Gaetz. Apparently for Matt Gaetz's seat that he has resigned, he doesn't want to go back into the House of Representatives, folks. Apparently there's a veteran who is sounds to be hard as nails. I think he'll do well to replace Matt Gaetz. We need America first, folks. But this Trump effect, before I get too far off a target, it's affecting everything. There is a ceasefire between Israel and Hezbollah. It's expected to be announced within hours. Trump is already saying, and Putin is saying, we're going to have peace with Trump. We won't have peace with NATO. We won't have peace with Europe. We certainly won't have peace with Ukraine, but we can get to peace through Trump. That's the Trump effect. It is working. European leaders are calling Trump. The head of NATO, Mr. Rutte, or Root, right? He flew to Mar-a-Lago to visit Trump. It's going to be the Trump effect, folks. SHTF, though, it is far from over. Trust every one of these Democrats, every one of these European sellout slobs, every one of these corporate ass kisses. They will shit on Trump the moment they get. They will destroy me and you, given a single opportunity, folks. They don't like us. If they can secretly fund bullshit to try and destroy Trump, bring him down, me and you, hurt America, they'll do it. Meanwhile, they'll glad hand us, oh yeah, we're pro-American too. Tell everyone that through their commercials. Oh, they're going to start waving American flags now. You bet. Oh, we're proud to be Americans. They're going to play that card, the patriot card. Oh yeah, we love America. Everyone in the corporate and government world is going to pretend as much as they can. Of course, they'll go to their voter base. They'll go to their donation base, as they always do, and they'll talk the most awful anti-American, anti-Republican, anti-normie, that's you and me. They'll talk about us and talk about how we need to be killed, put in concentration camps, re-education camps, have our kids taken from us, have our money taken from us, our property, how we need to be locked up. Trust me, that's what they think, and that's what they'll keep working for. But they're all going to talk out the side of their necks and pretend to be flag-waving patriots. That's what they're going to do, because that's what they always do. They always have. They come out publicly. But this Trump effect, folks, Trump derangement syndrome, it is not over. Not by a long shot, I've got to tell you. Not by a long shot. And I want to kind of address this topic. We do talk about, hey, you need food. Like I said, 3 months minimum. Make sure that's balanced with canned vegetables and canned meats. You can't live on chili and pork and beans. You can't do that, right? You can't live on that. You need to make sure you've got meat in there, lots of it. People have proven now, oh shit, at least the last 6-8 years, people have proven the Atkins diet, the keto diet, you can live on just meat. You don't need all these crazy ass carbs. But folks, on top of the food, make sure you have vitamins. I think it's really critical. Vitamins to help supplement your diet. Make sure that you're as healthy as possible. Another one, especially if you're in the desert or in humid areas, you need electrolytes. That is critical salts to help you stay hydrated, rehydrate you, and help you to function. Without it, you go into heat exhaustion, you can cramp, and of course, be worthless. Remember and understand, our enemies out there, folks, our enemies out there, if things get nasty, food's going to be a huge problem, water's going to be a huge problem, and that includes electrolytes. Basically, Gatorade. You can get it in dry powder and keep it stored, and it'll last years and years and years. Right? There's the little single serving jobs like that Liquid IV, and then you've got, you can get bulk things of Gatorade and others. It's not going to hurt you, folks. All it can do is help you. Well, unless they've got crazy food dyes and other poisons. But that said, get prepared. Get prepared. And after you take care of all those items, and especially also this other one that's very important. If you've got extra wealth and I've got all the preps I need, right? I've got a great shelter. I've got it all handled. Now what? Gold and silver, folks. Gold and silver are money. In the Constitution, this crazy book that made the United States of America happen, gold and silver is actually the only thing that's called money. Paper is not money. It never was. Gold and silver are money. And it's not supposed to be an investment. But let me tell you about what gold and silver have done since, since Trump was president, starting around 2016, these numbers work. Since then, gold and silver have gone up and down in value, but basically, they've skyrocketed in value. I mean, 50% and more, they have gone up in value. What is your dollar bought? See what I'm saying? And this expression, unless you own it, unless you hold it, you don't own it. Right? So everything that's in the bank can be taken from you electronically. It can be confiscated. It can be garnished. It can be taken from you. You don't own it unless you hold it. Now, putting cash, dollar bills, paper under your mattress, you need to have some, I think, for a direct response to an emergency. When credit cards don't work, you're going to need some cash. But keeping everything in cash, let's just say you have $10,000 in cash, liquidity, and you want to protect that, so you bring it home. You sneak it out of the bank, a couple hundred here and there and here and here and there, so they don't ask you too many fucking questions. But let's just say you keep $10,000 in cash, and we have 10% inflation. 10% inflation. That means you lost $1,000 in a year for doing nothing more than using your mattress as a bank to deposit your paper money in. Well, gold and silver maintain their purchasing power. They maintain their purchasing power, and it actually goes up. Gold has beaten the S&P for the last, I believe, 25 years. It's either 20 or 25 years. It is outperformed. And the S&P is supposed to be an investment vehicle. Turns out it's merely a savings vehicle when compared to gold. So unless you're a professional trader and it's your hobby and your passion, right? Trading in the market can be very dangerous. In fact, look what has happened to Bitcoin. Bitcoin, which is not a coin, it is not digital gold, it's not an investment, it's a speculative digital instrument that has gone from $99,000 down to $92,000 in the last 2 days. A lot of people are kind of upset with Bitcoin right now. It was actually Jim Cramer of CNBC. He came out the other day and he said, invest in Bitcoin. That was the kiss of death right there. Anyways, since Trump took office last time, right, gold went up, silver went up. It became popular all the way through the Biden administration. And now Trump's back for a second term. And trust me, the government is going to spend money. Yes, they are. Like it or not, we're going to have inflation. Whether you love Trump or not, I'm expecting inflation. It's just, and I don't know what else I need. How many TVs do I need to hang on the wall? I've got one. I've had it for a while. There's no reason to get another. A lot of stuff I'm not going to need to buy. I just need to survive the coming SHTF. And you guys, I do want to thank you for helping support the channel. Whether I'm on the channel live or not, I get Venmo, CashApp, and PayPal donations. And I want to thank you guys for it. Keeping the lights on, the Gatorade, tuna fish, Spam, and scotch in the pantry. And it's great. You guys are the best. And I love sharing information with you. And you guys, as I said at Sunday Night Live, you guys are actually the influencers, because you bring up the topics we talk about on the show, not just on Sunday Night Live, but all week long. And today is another great example of that. It is now time for you guys to talk about what you think the world needs to hear. And we're back. All right, we've got Ooman behind the scenes. And Mr. Ooman, who has something to say? What do we want to discuss right out the gate? I know we've got a lot of good topics, and we're going to start with, well, Ooman himself. And he says, well, wouldn't you know? After bitching about the filibuster for the last 4 years, now the party that created it, that's the Democrats, suddenly likes it again and plans to use it against the Republicans and Trump. They are hypocrats. They're hypocrites. They're freaking lying pieces of shit. They're liars, right? They're complete liars. So what are they going to do? In the Senate, you can filibuster anything, anytime. You can just stand up there and talk and talk. And many great filibusters in the past, they've been used to protect America. They've also been used to hurt America. Just depends on what side of the political aisle, right? Are you on the right? Are you on the left? That's really what it comes down to. So the filibuster, people have read books. They've read, I think one guy for a filibuster had a cot that he brought up there and was laying down. I don't know if he was talking while there's been some crazy antics. But yeah, the Democrats complained that the filibuster is used and it's wrong, it's bad, and they want to change the rules. Well, when it suits them, just like any good hypocrite in any good hypocritical situation, they'll change their mind and flip 180 degrees. 180 degrees. That's how it goes. I tell you, man, it is completely and totally, absolutely frustrating, but it's also expected. Anytime, right? Democrats could say, oh, Trump wants to give you a tax cut. We do too. I mean, how many times did Camel Toes Horace during the campaign? How many times did she copy Trump? Oh, Trump wants to get rid of taxes on waitresses and tips. Oh yeah, me too. Oh, Trump wants to give child tax credits. First they attack Trump and go, oh, you're just buying votes. And then they're like, well, that's what we do. We're going to give out money too. Trump's going to give 5. We'll give 6. As soon as they get elected, they're like, fuck you guys. We're taking all our money back. That's how they roll, folks. That is literally how they roll. They're going to use it. And folks, get this. The rat Republicans, those are Republicans against Trump. They're going to also, behind the scenes, shit on all of us and shit on Trump. There is a legitimate, real mandate by a massive majority, a huge percentage of Americans. They want freedom, liberty, in our Constitution. They want low taxes. They want illegals out. But the Democrats, they'll filibuster anything and everything. So expect Trump to use a lot of executive orders. And I'll tell you guys again, I don't like executive orders. I don't care who's president. It smacks of dictatorship. But it's part of the fucking job. It's part of what they figured. It's part of the scam. Right? The president does have executive authority over the executive branches of governments, which includes bureaucracies. Great. Cut the bureaucracies. Defund them. Fire them. That's within your power. Do it. I'll support the hell out of that. But the Democrats, right, they call him a dictator. He's a dictator. He's going to try and take over the country. He's going to destroy democracy. All of their buzzwords. He doesn't have any more power or authority than Joe Biden did. And you guys had no problem when Joe Biden said, oh, my patience is wearing thin. You better take that Jim Jones juice or I'm going to get older and grouchier. All right? They threatened everyone. We'll take away your Social Security benefits. We'll take away your federal benefits, your federal contracts, your federal jobs. We'll fuck you all over. And how many people have died because of that? How many people lost their jobs? How many people had their businesses destroyed? A lot, a lot, a lot. No doubt, a lot of them. Here we are, folks. It's 2024 going on 2025. Unbelievable how this country has just gone to the most bizarre places. We live in interesting times. We live in very volatile times. So the question I have for you is, are you prepared? right? It's your preparation, folks. That's what we need. That's what we need. We need you prepared. All right, Mr. Ooman, who do we got next? And we got Mikey G. And he says, Old Mitch represents the CCP, not us. So first off, old means old. Mitch means Mitch McConnell, Mitch McCuckle, Turtles McConnell, Turtles McCuckle. And the CCP is the Chinese Communist Party. Number one, Mitch is married to I believe, a Chinese national, someone with dual citizenship. Number two, I believe Mitch has dual citizenship with China. Number three, Mitch has a lot of investments with the Chinese corporations, government, business structure. Mitch represents China and China's interests first, in my opinion. And whatever happened to Mitch McConnell's wife's sister, who somehow backed her Tesla into a pond and drowned in it? Not in China, but in Texas. Now, I mean, I have to admit, driving into a pond is possible. It's been done quite a bit. One time, a long time ago, I was with a friend in his Jeep, and I said, dude, you can make it across that pond in your Jeep. And we tried and didn't make it, but we didn't drown. No, we didn't drown. Anyways, folks, I don't think Gary still has forgiven me for that. He blames me. Hey, it's not my fault if you were drunk. All right, let's keep rolling with that. Oliver, where are we going? We got Badass Diving Frog. Folks, you can. Hang on, Mr. Diving Frog. You can ask a question, make a statement, make a prediction, talk about the past. We can crack a bad joke as long as it gets by the censors. We can have a lot of fun. You right now live every afternoon on the preparedmind.club and subscribestar.com can be here live. We've had great turnout. It's a great crowd. It's kind of like the zoo, only much more quiet. That's why we call the zoo the zoo. Anyways, let's get back to Mr. Diving Frog. He says, John, the powers that be can't let the war machine stop. Oh, they don't like the war machine stopping, folks. They're very upset. They don't like the fact that Israel and Hezbollah are going to be quiet. They don't like the fact that, well, Trump is sticking up for Taiwan with China. They don't like the fact that Rocket Man up there in North Korea is going to make sure the South Koreans are protected. They don't like the fact that Russia wants to make peace and Trump wants to help. They've already depleted, and they did this a fucking year ago, depleted our howitzer and artillery munitions. They depleted ammunition, reserves of missiles, rockets. Joe Biden has he's fought a war using Ukraine as the proxy army of sacrifice. I call it genocide. I think that Zelensky, at the behest of Biden, for a lot of money, and at the behest of Europe, for a lot of their euros, has sacrificed their own people. The altar of sacrifice, a blood sacrifice to enrich themselves. Because the war machine, they make big money on selling weapons to governments to go fight useless fucking wars. In any event, let's continue with Mr. Diving Frog. He says, otherwise the money slows or stops. They're not letting that happen. It's just getting worse every year until it implodes. Well, here's the deal, Mr. Diving Frog. Trump is doing what he can to make peace rather than war, to cooperate rather than conflict. And that's where we get to your implosion. We can't afford it. Europe can't afford it. It's very, very, very costly. And aren't there better things to spend our money on rather than spending all this money to make a bomb and then ship the bomb over to Europe and then send the bomb through the air? It lands, kaboom, artillery explosion. It blows up their shit. Our expensive warhead explodes. What do we get for that? How does that help our economy? The government takes my money, takes your money, gives it to this munitions company, and they go blow shit up. How did that build anything? It didn't. They blew shit up. Well, John, war War, get this, they still believe, they still say that war creates economic growth. War makes economic growth. Well, because we have to build things for war. Trucks and tanks and planes and helicopters, missiles, bombs, rockets, guns. Well, that just blows stuff up. It costs money. And so it doesn't help the economy. The government borrows money from the Federal Reserve Bank, gives it to these people to blow shit up. And then the government turns around and looks at us, me and you, and says, now you're going to give us money to pay back the bank that loaned the money to make the bombs to cause the war. How does that make the world grow? How is that good for the economy? Well, the government's spending money they otherwise wouldn't. Well, they're spending your money and my money. And I would rather have them wouldn't. Anyways, it is imploding in my opinion, Mr. Diving Frog. It's imploding. The war machine, well, they want... Now, Biden is saying he wants to give Ukraine nukes. Russia is saying, don't you fucking try it. NATO and Europe are considering giving Ukraine nukes. Russia is like, if you do that, there is going to be a nuclear retaliation. Right? They don't want nuclear weapons on their doorstep. Yes, they can probably shoot it down. They don't want to have to. They don't want to take a chance. That's playing Russian fucking roulette. If you knock 5 out of 6 bombs out of the air, yeah, but one got through. One got through. Not the best thing to have happen in your day. Right? Giving your family a bright orange afro is not cool. Not cool. Or it'll just cook the hair off your head. And I have a nice head of natural hair. That's not doll hair. That's not a wig. That's the real deal right there, folks. That right there, that's the real deal. Don't tell Uman. I love messing with him. Anyways, let's go. Let's move on to the next question. Thank you, Mr. Diving Frog. Yes, I don't want an orange afro. Name redacted said diversity, equity, and inclusion is part of a method of scoring a company that BlackRock created. That's right. Bad score, they destroy your stock value. That's right. BlackRock is the largest, Vanguard and others. What they would do is if you didn't do DEI, they would sell off your stocks, cause your company value tank. If you didn't do diversity, equity, inclusion, they might even short your company, which means they'll borrow stocks from someone else. I've never given anyone permission to take my property and sell it, and then they'll buy it back from me later. Anyway, shorting is selling something you don't have, making the price drop, and then buying it back cheap. That's what shorting is. When everyone else is like, oh, fuck, the value's going down, it's going down, it's going down. Right? And then they sell theirs, causing it to go even further. So companies like BlackRock and Vanguard, Bank of America, Goldman Sachs, that's what they do. And then they buy stuff back cheap. They'll destroy the value of your company. Now, having said that, if you do what they want, if you promote faggotry, if you promote child grooming, if you promote transgenderism, if you promote the destruction of America, they will reward your company by investing in it properly, causing the value to go up and up and up. Social engineering. Folks, I remember 10 fucking years ago, I talked about social engineering. You know what kind of shit I ate? Oliver, do you remember that or no? What social engineer? You can't social engineer. Government can't affect us socially. Look, businesses are doing it now. Doubt me? Fucking doubt me? Social engineering? Getting people to think and behave a certain kind of way based on what? That's right. Controlling the money, firing people, hiring people, investing or divesting in companies in order to make them behave a certain way. If you want, now the way the government does it is with tax cuts. Hey, we want you to do this, this, and that. We'll give you a tax cut. We want you to have lots of babies, get on welfare. Social engineering. We want to punish you. No more kids. They take away child tax credits. They'll punish the fuck out of you. So they get people to change their behavior and make different decisions, left or right, whatever. They destroy companies. They punish people. They do. That is social engineering, whether a government does it or financiers, the banks. The banks. That's true, Namery Dad. It truly is, folks. And this game is going to keep being played. Trust me, there's no way out of it. It's human nature to try and fuck with other people and make them do what you want. That's probably something that's been around since Eve ate the apple and then say, hey, Adam, no more ta-ta unless you take a bite too. They cut that part out of the Bible. They don't, ta-tas and all. In any event, don't want to start too big of a biblical discussion about apples and DEI. Anyways, Mr. Ooman, who do we want to roll up next? Who has something to say? Ooman asks, did she shave her head also? That wasn't Eve. That would be Lilith. Lilith, Adam's first main squeeze. That one is out there in ancient mythology, the Apocrypha. Yep, Adam had his first wife, Lilith. She refused to serve under him and shaved her head, I'm sure, and flew away. Yep, you bet. Risky business. Roy the crypto boy checking on in. And this is what he says. He says, the Ukraine situation is causing more fear of a nuclear war. It truly is. I am very concerned. I do not think Putin is going to start it. I think Putin would respond. I think Washington, D.C. morons, the uber rich financiers who control the world as best they can, European central banks, European politicians, they're the ones who are going to push for nuclear war. It frightens me because they have shown us that they're willing to destroy their countries, our country, our economies, our social structure, our cultures, our traditions. So fuck it. Why not just cook us to a crisp? So the Ukraine situation is causing more fear of nuclear war. Recent events since Donald Trump won the contest has ratcheted up in Ukraine. How do we prepare for the stupidity that could cause a nuclear exchange? Number one, understanding the potential that it's real, not panicking and running around like your head is on fire and your ass is catching. The way you prepare is just like everything else. In a nuclear war event, you're going to need food. You're going to need water, right? You're going to need clothing. You're going to need shelter. You're going to need self-defense. You're going to need medicine. But you're also going to need potassium iodide tablets so you don't die of thyroid cancer from being irradiated. Beyond your thyroid, your body can basically handle trace amounts of radiation, radioactive fallout, yada, yada, yada. Chernobyl, a one-of-a-kind piece of shit nuclear reactor, and it exploded. And yes, one-of-a-kind means they built just one, and it failed. They haven't built another one like it, nor should anyone. In any event, all the radiation from that, last time I checked the Russians, they haven't lost their mind like all these woke-tards and left-tards. They seem to be in their right mind. I haven't seen any 3-armed or 6-legged Russians running around. So they aren't human mutants. No, so we can, if you avoid the flames and the destruction that comes from the Mad Max that follows a nuclear war, we can survive it. Let's pray that we don't have to. Now, again, well, shit, while I'm talking Mad Max, the movie and the series Mad Max were dystopian. They followed a world nuclear holocaust. And they followed and showed how, well, the world's going along, nuclear war, and it goes down. People live, people survive, things disappear, food, fuel, safety, everything else. And it just slowly fucking, crashes. It crashes. It's not guaranteed that we crash, but it can take a while. Can take years. But nonetheless, folks, nuclear war, not good. If anything happens, I think the politicians should die. I really do. The politicians should die, not us. If Europe wants to fuck around, then drop a bomb on Brussels. Europe wants to fuck around, drop a bomb on the leadership at the World Economic Forum. If anything goes haywire, if there's any country, any city in the United States that should suffer from the wrath of Putin, it should be Washington, D.C. But here's the deal, and fucking think about this. The cocksuckers in Washington, D.C., and there's a lot of them, those people are the ones who want nuclear war. They're okay with it. They would sacrifice everyone else just to satisfy their own fucking greed and their own agenda, their egos. We haven't done anything to deserve it. Why should we all die? Because the people in Washington think they know better. That's why they should not have that kind of authority, that kind of power. We, the people, we should have the power. Government should not have the power to destroy the planet and all of us. But here we are. The reality is the reality. So get prepared, especially up here. All right, man, let's keep rolling. We got another 8 minutes of the show today. And Village Idiot checks in. And he said, stupid people games are afoot. Yeah, they are. I tell you what, we started at the very top, right? Ukraine, Russia, China, America, Europe. Stupid leadership. But you drop down from that government level and you drop down to more local problems, right? Corporations, fucking stupid. They've destroyed a lot of wealth and a lot of reputations by attacking good people because they're not woke, right? They've done that. They've destroyed it. These are stupid ass games. Stupid games. Look what Gavin Newsom is doing. There's one car manufacturer left in California, and it's Tesla. So Gavin Newsom says, we're going to give EV discounts. We're going to give EV vouchers. We're going to give EV electric vehicle rebates on your taxes for all manufacturers except Tesla. I think that's probably illegal, by the way, that you favor a literal set of businesses and punish business specifically because you don't like their politics. It's so fucking shallow. But taking the stupid games even further in our world where you and I are at, our families, fuck, folks. It is the Tuesday tantrum, but Thursday, Thanksgiving, you're going to see stupid games in a personal level like you've probably never seen in your life. I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to go to a family function, and I'm going to see just how dumb it gets. I talked with another friend. He's doing, everyone's got them, folks. They're out there. They're out there, and it's going to get stupid. I can't wait to see how this shakes out. But I'm sure there's going to be a lot of tragedy, though, as well. So do not forget to be prepared and protect yourselves and your family. The stupid is afoot. The stupid is getting desperate. The stupid is scared. The stupid is the Democrats, and they are violent. I know you guys aren't violent. Man's not violent. Jolene's not violent. I'm not violent. I'm a nice guy. Don't fuck with us. But here we are. Good golly. Man, where do we want to roll next? And he says there's a bill in Texas that wants to create silver and gold-backed Texas currency. It would also allow gold and silver coin to be used as legal tender currency. It's interesting. Gold and silver in the Constitution. Right here. Money. It's money. But Texas wants to create their own currency, and they want to back it by gold. So it's no longer fiat as long as you can exchange the paper for money. You can exchange the paper for gold, exchange the paper for silver. Now, I know that you can exchange your fiat United States Federal Reserve notes. You can exchange those, but the idea is that you say this is a dollar. We have a dollar, and it's worth 1 ounce of silver, a silver dollar. Or you could say a silver dollar is worth 20 or 50 or $100. They're creating an alternate currency because they don't like the United States Federal Reserve note. It's backed by fresh air, right? Imagine if this was your currency. This is a $100 silver piece. Imagine that. And then the government came back the next day and they said, that $100 silver piece is now worth $200. But all the paper you have is still only worth $100. So they just cut the value of your money in half by changing the value of this. You double the value of this, you cut the paper in half. So Texas, if they've got a paper currency that says this is $100, it always is $100, and it'll stay $100. And gold will be, take your pick, $5,000. Right? They do that, and you all of a sudden here's your inflation line. It's like that. If $100 is always one of these, then it's always $100. There is no inflation, right? If they want to charge more for a loaf of bread, you can ask, why did the bread go up? The money is still sound. The money is safe. Oh, well, flour got more expensive. Okay, right? There's the reason for it. Why is flour more expensive? You can start asking those questions. Right now, they say, well, why do we have inflation? Well, because the government keeps printing more money that's backed by nothing. I'm glad Texas is trying to create a silver and gold currency, a money, a medium of exchange, a store of value. It's coming, folks. Texas wants it. The United States doesn't want it, but guess what? Judy Shelton, who looks to be like one of Trump's top picks, and many others are talking about a gold-backed currency. It's making its way through the economic system. If we had gold and silver backing our currency, would it be stable? Would it be a store of value? Would it be better? And the question is coming back now. We got James Floyd checking in. He says, I think that the Texas plan for fiat money is a preliminary to Texas leaving the union. James, you are a brilliant man. I thought the same thing. I'm like, oh, they want, see, you. If Texas were to secede from the nation and say, look, we're leaving the union. Texas was a republic before, and we're going to make it a republic independent again. We are our own government. If they did that, and then they tried to make a currency, well, that's just going to make it more difficult. If they have a currency ahead of time that's established, accepted, used, stored, saved, spent, all of that, when they go to leave the union, secede, they're set. They don't have to worry about the money. Texas, folks, produces a ton of uranium, oil, gas, food, steers. Yeah, right. Everyone knows what comes from Texas, steers and queers, right? They got their fair share, trust me. In any event, Texas could be a country. It's got its own waterway. It's got its own ports. Texas is good. All right. Thank you, James Floyd. Very astute observation, my brother. Good job. Man, where are we at? I know that we're 59 minutes. Name redacted said Bitcoin. Now that it's running commercial, cause it's so fucking good. They're now running commercials because it's so fucking good. They're now, in order for Bitcoin to run commercials, thank you, man. They've got to spend money on commercials. Where does the money come from to invest in Bitcoin? Well, it's probably coming from investment firms who want you to buy it so they get commissions. They get their money out of you on every sale. That's what they're there for. That's how this game is played, folks. Chance favors the prepared mind. I'm glad you guys are too. Semper Fi to y'all. I'll see you 0 dark 30 tomorrow, Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving. And it is on, folks. It's on. I'll see you then. And thank you for all your great support.